Here are today's top stories. The military tags the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters in the blast that killed at least 3 and injured dozens in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. President Duterte is expected to sign about 8 agreements with Israel and Jordan in his official visit next week. House Speaker Gloria Arroyo announces she is retiring from politics after the 2019 midterm elections. And Tawi-Tawi is being considered as a rice trading center to prevent rice smuggling. Good day, I'm Rom Dulfo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The military is on the lookout for possible attacks by the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters as it tagged the terror group in the bombing in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Miguel Hill has a story.
3 persons were killed while 7 were wounded in a bomb attack in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat Tuesday night. AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Noel De Toyato said Isulan is being targeted because of the economic improvements in the area as well as the population of non-Muslims there. Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters denied involvement in the explosion, saying the group does not attack civilians. For his part, PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde said the incident could have been worse had martial law not been implemented in Mindanao.
Wala naman kasing masamang dinudulot ng martial law doon, no? And I think it's part of security, peace and security doon sa area. Baka kung walang martial law doon, baka mas marami pa yan. We will assess, that's why we have to go there personally. We'll ask for assessment from the security forces there. No, makita natin kung talagang bakit nangyari pa itong insidente na ito.
Meanwhile, Chief Negotiator Mogher Iqbal of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front condemned the bombing in Isulan, saying the attack was the handiwork of spoilers of peace. Sultan Kudarat Governor Pax Mangundadato offered a 1 million peso bounty for anyone who can provide information on the perpetrators. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzana says any talk about further extending martial law is premature. This after Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea floated the idea of extending martial law after the explosion that hit Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Lorenzana admits extending martial law is an option given the peace and order situation in Mindanao. He, however, says they will determine in the coming months whether martial law, which is effective until the end of the year, should be extended. AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Noel De Toyato, meanwhile, clarifies that the AFP only enforces martial law and does not decide on its implementation. The country is expected to sign 8 agreements with Israel and Jordan on defense cooperation, investments, and other concerns when President Duterte makes his official visit next week. The agreements the president is likely to sign with Israel includes labor agreements, science and agriculture, and trade expansion. They are also expected to discuss the allegedly large fees charged to Filipinos entering Israel. The Philippines is also set to sign agreements with Jordan regarding the welfare of OFWs during President Duterte's visit. The agreements to be signed involve labor, defense, foreign affairs, trade and investment, as well as a mutual recognition of training standards and certification of watchkeepers for seafarers. President Duterte's official visit will be the first time a Philippine president will visit Jordan. The Philippines vows to play a constructive role in promoting good ties between ASEAN and China as country coordinator. Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano says the country is designated to act as a bridge between the two parties. Cayetano, however, assured that despite its role, the Philippines will protect its interests in the West Philippine Sea. The 10 ASEAN member states take turns in serving as a country coordinator for the bloc's numerous dialogue relationships. In August 2018, the Philippines was assigned to the ASEAN-China dialogue relations. Currently, the two parties are working towards the early conclusion of the Code of Conduct, which is aimed at diffusing tensions in disputed waters. President Rodrigo Duterte is pushing for the implementation of the long overdue Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgado III says the President, as well as the Department of Transportation, insist on pursuing PUV modernization. Delgado welcomed the concerns of Senator Grace Poe that the government's 80,000 peso subsidy is not enough to modernize PUVs, particularly jeepneys. He, however, says the subsidy amount depends on the decision of Congress. The financial component of the PUV modernization program only covers dilapidated jeepneys. Delgado says if Congress will decide to increase the subsidy from the 200 to 400,000, it might hasten the implementation of modernization. There are more than 179,000 valid franchise holders of PUJs throughout the country. Still to come, House Speaker Gloria Arroyo announces she is retiring from politics after the 2019 midterm elections. Tawi-Tawi is being considered as a rice trading center to prevent rice smuggling. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Bahagi po ng ginawa ni Secretary Martin Andanar sa Presidential Communications Operations Office yung paglaban sa fake news. Yan po ay sinimulan niya sa ASEAN Secretariat at ngayon po ay buong ASEAN naniniwalang dapat labanan ng fake news. At dito sa Pilipinas, pinakakalat po ni Secretary Andanar yung aming campaign for dismiss this or dismiss disinformation.
So yun po yung ginagawa ng PCOO. Kaya po kami umiikot sa buong Pilipinas is because alam namin, naramdaman namin na hindi lang po sapat yung nandito lang po sa Manila yung communication, no? Ang dapat po ang ginagawa ng PCOO ay is to decentralize government communication all over the country. Kung saan man ang mga Pilipino natin, dapat alam nila ang nangyayari sa ating gobyerno. Ngayon po, sa sobrang malakas na po ang ating media ngayon, media government, gusto namin ipakilala ang PCOO, ang Presidential Communications Operations Office, sa mga tao para ba mag-guide sila sa mga totoong valid information patungkol sa gobyerno.
Dito ngayon sa munisipyo ng Glan, natutuwa kami na tinanggap kami rito at binigyan kami ng pagkakataon na magpaliwanag sa kanila sa maraming tanong sa amin sa paglilibot namin ni Director Pebbles Duque. Ang unang tanong ng maraming tao, ano daw ba talaga ang fake news? Na ipaliwanag po natin yan batay sa pag-aaral po ng inyong lingkod sa Singapore nung kami pinapunta ron ng ASEAN. Tinatanong din kami, paano ba nadidetect ito? Malinaw po, kung kayo atin ng aming seminar, may paliliwanag po sa inyo yan ng maayos. At pangatlo, kaya bang labanan? Can we combat fake news? Meron pong mga solusyon. Ang pinakamalaga na susi rito, yung samahan ng gobyerno at civil society at yung partnership ng private at civil society.
Dito po sa municipality ng Glan, kami po ay nagpapasalamat for the response ng Philippine Information Agency regarding po sa fake news awareness. Kung paano po natin i-battle, kung paano po natin ipaglaban itong mga fake news na to. Kasi po, madami na po dito sa Glan na nangyari ang mga fake news.
Ginaguide din natin ang ating mga kababayan kung paano magbasa ng information. Sa dami na po ng information ngayon na lumalabas dahil po sa social media, dahil po sa mga magagaling na tao din na gumagawa ng mga balita, minsan overload tayo, minsan din napipeke tayo. Kaya gusto natin magkaroon or mag-establish ng mga good citizen awareness. Kasi nga sabi nga natin, and every time we go around, the heart of nation building is an informative citizen.
So let us fight this fake news and dismiss this disinformation.
We have to fight fake news forever and dismiss disinformation.
Everybody, let's fight fake news and dismiss disinformation.
Dismiss disinformation! Fight fake news!
House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo has confirmed she will not run for any position in the 2019 midterm elections. Arroyo adds she plans to retire when her term ends as Pampanga Congresswoman in 2019. The House Speaker expressed confidence that her young colleagues in the lower chamber of Congress can take on leadership posts in government. Arroyo also dispelled allegations that she would become the country's prime minister once the proposed shift to a federal form of government succeeds. She notes the draft charter proposed by the Consultative Committee, or CONCOM, provides for a federal presidential system of government. Arroyo meanwhile says she plans to write her own memoir upon retirement. Old cruise ships will soon be required by the Maritime Industry Authority, or Marina, to undergo accreditation to ensure they are safe for traveling around the country's seas. Miguel Hill reports.
Cruise ships that have been in service between 1 to 20 years will undergo a process of accreditation to ensure the seaworthiness of ocean vessels transversing along the Philippine seas. The Maritime Industry Authority will be strictly implementing policies for the acquisition and operation of local cruise ships to ensure maritime safety and security by September this year. It is likewise open to grant special permits to foreign cruise ships to operate in areas that are not currently serviced by local cruise ships. For its part, the Philippine Ports Authority earlier said that it is developing international hubs for cruise liners in Metro Manila, Davao, Bohol, Boracay, Cebu, Puerto Princesa, Subic, and Zamboanga to support the cruise tourism industry. It also initiated programs for the development of cruise terminals in the port of Puerto Princesa, Curimao in Ilocos Norte, and Catagbacan in Bohol Province. As of January this year, cruise terminal arrivals registered an increase of nearly 2,000% from last year. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Duterte administration is sticking with its proposed cash-based budgeting system for 2019, but Budget Chief Benjamin Jokno says they are planning to extend the payment period for projects. The proposed 3.7 trillion peso national budget for next year has a validity of 1 year, a change from the 2-year validity under the obligations-based system. Jokno says they are considering extending the payment period to 6 months until June 2020 instead of the initial proposal of only 3 months or until March 2020. This is in consideration of the 2019 elections, during which government projects are not allowed. Jokno meanwhile pointed out that a slowdown in government spending can be prevented if agencies begin the process for awarding or pre-procurement of projects early. Under the proposed national budget, some agencies were given a lower budget due to underspending. The provincial government of Tawi-Tawi is being tapped to lead the campaign against rice smuggling in the area. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol says reports telling that he is in favor of legalizing rice smuggling is wrong. Piñol's statement is in relation to his proposal to establish Tawi-Tawi as a rice trading center. He clarifies, rice shipments entering the back door of the southern islands should be intercepted, charged with tariffs, and quarantined. This would transform rice meant for smuggling into actual imports, which would earn the government up to 2 billion pesos yearly. Piñol suspects that rice smugglers are twisting his words through the media to justify the manipulation of rice prices. Mayor Sara Duterte assured the public that Davao City remains safe despite Wednesday evening's bomb attack in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. The Davao mayor says the city remained on heightened alert after the 2016 Rojas Night Market bombing. On Sunday, the city government will commemorate the second year of the incident. Mayor Inday Sara says the public's cooperation with the security measures is needed to ensure the safety of the people of the city, such as random checkpoints. She said the public should not be scared of the security procedures being implemented by the DCPO and Task Force Davao, especially if they are not hiding anything. Up next, the DILG urges barangay officials to enforce policies on solid waste management. Task Force Bangon Marawi distributes a new set of livelihood packages for residents of Marawi City. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders. The Department of Interior and Local Government has ordered barangay officials to focus on environmental protection through solid waste management in their communities. The DILG has issued a memorandum ordering the organizing of a Barangay Ecological Solid Waste Management Committee. This committee will formulate and manage an appropriate solid waste management program for each barangay. The committee will also establish a material recovery facility and allocate funds for waste management in the barangay level. Interior OIC Secretary Eduardo Anyo meanwhile urged governors and mayors to strictly implement policies related to ecological solid waste management. Preparations are almost complete for the 2018 Batang Pinoy in Baguio City and Benguet Province. Philippine Sports Commissioner Celia Kiram says about 3,900 athletes and more than 2,000 technical and government officials are expected. She adds the Philippine Sports Commission is providing each athlete with 3,000 pesos for transportation expenses. The PSC will also provide some of the needed equipment as well as beddings, mattresses, and portalets for athletes. Kiram said the commission is ensuring the safety and convenience of the athletes. Meanwhile, Baguio City Mayor Mauricio Dumogan has ordered to ensure enough lighting and water supply for the event. The city sports division said delegates will be billeted in various schools in Baguio and La Trinidad town. President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to grace the opening of Batang Pinoy on September 15. The country is assured of another bronze medal in the Asian Games as Yumir Fakes Marshall enters the semifinal round of the men's boxing middleweight class. Marshall, a gold medalist in the 2017 SEA Games, defeated South Korea's Kim Jin-jae in the quarterfinals. Marshall will be up against Uzbekistan's Israel Madrimov, who prevailed over Iran's Saeed Shahin in the quarterfinal. Aside from Marshall, the other Filipino boxers who made it to the semifinals were Carlo Paalam in the light flyweight class and Rogen Ladon in the flyweight category. In continued efforts to rehabilitate Marawi City, Task Force Bangon Marawi led the distribution of livelihood assistance to displaced residents. Sweet Lukman files this report.
The Task Force Bangon Marawi, through its Committee on Business and Livelihood, in partnership with the local government of Marawi City, World Food Program, Food and Agriculture Organization, Community and Family Services International, and Philippine Information Agency, launched Kauyagan in Marawi City Hall grounds, dubbed Siyap sa Marawi Gagaw Ko Pagtaw. Kauyagan is a series of distribution of livelihood assistance to the internally displaced persons, which will be done on a monthly basis. This activity symbolizes the synergy of TFBM and its partners in ensuring that the affected residents of Marawi City will directly receive livelihood support and assistance. TFBM Chairperson and Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario reiterated the government will continue to provide support to the IDPs. Meanwhile, Assistant Secretary Felix Castro Jr., Field Office Manager of TFBM, thanked the different government agencies and humanitarian organizations for their livelihood support to the IDPs. He also cited the continuous support of TFBM for the IDPs. The Department of Trade and Industry distributed 9 food carts with bike along with starter kits consisting of stove and LPG set, kitchen utensils, ingredients, and starter kits to 11 beneficiaries. Through the Sustainable Livelihood Program, the Department of Social Welfare and Development released 10,000 pesos seed capital fund to 140 beneficiaries. Some of their proposed livelihood sources include loom weaving, dressmaking, community store, poultry production and management, fish pond, soap making, rice retailing, and floating fish cage. The Technical Education and Skills Development Authority conducted scholarship enrollment and skills demonstration on hair cutting, manicure, and pedicure. The Department of Agriculture distributed 27 bags of urea fertilizer and 500 packs of vegetable seeds, while the Department of Agrarian Reform turned over 25 bags of corn seeds for men and 25 bags of vegetable seeds for women. CFSI also awarded assistance for its 3 beneficiaries for equipment for barbershop, 6 for sidecars, 2 for mamandyang making equipment, 1 for broa making equipment, 1 for slipper vending, and 1 for ready-to-wear vending. FAO distributed 50 to 100 assorted vegetable seeds for its women IDP beneficiaries, while WFP turned over fishing inputs, farming tools, assorted vegetable seeds, and 50 kilogram sacks of rice, each for 4,380 families. Meanwhile, PIA also set up a television and photo gallery exhibit to showcase the interventions and rehabilitation efforts of the different member agencies under TFBM and its partners for Marawi City and its residents. Through its rolling store, the National Food Authority sold NFA rice which costs 27 peso per kilo. Together with Lou Antonio for PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories. The military tags the Bangsamoro Islamic freedom fighters in the blast that killed at least 3 and injured dozens in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. President Duterte is expected to sign about 8 agreements with Israel and Jordan in his official visit next week. House Speaker Gloria Arroyo announces she is retiring from politics after the 2019 midterm elections. And Tawi-Tawi is being considered as a rice trading center to prevent rice smuggling. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Rom Dulfo. Good day.